Hey, everybody. Welcome back to CAF's Heroes of Sport. My name is Bob Babbitt, co-founder of Challenged Athletes Foundation. Every week, I get to chat with one of our amazing challenged athletes from around the world. This week is no different. One of my favorite guys on the planet. We race pretty much every weekend of the year together. Mr. Michael Andresen joins us. Michael, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Bob. How are you today?
I'm spectacular. So first of all, where did you grow up, and dealing with dwarfism from a young age, how hard was that?
I grew up in Orange County, California, Garden Grove specifically. And growing up with dwarfism, my mom had dwarfism, and so did my brother. And my mom kind of viewed it as we're gonna grow up normally.
Right.
We didn't go to any LPA meetings, anything like that. My mom just said, let them figure out life, and let them be normal.
Right. And was sport a part of your life early on?
Yes, sport was definitely a part of my life very early on. We were part of the Boys and Girls Club. So did everything from judo, jiu-jitsu, to running cross country, some water polo, wrestling, swimming. So
what were the biggest challenges that you faced?
Probably the biggest challenges I faced growing up with hypochondroplasia, or dwarfism, was being bullied.
Yeah. In terms of, was it in sport? Was it in school? And were just people just not nice?
Mainly in school. People were just not nice. Growing up, I went to private school up through middle school. And that was a little bit harder. Once I went to public school, it got a little bit easier. Bigger class sizes.
You'd figure that
class sizes and more people.
Right. So more people, more variety. People, there's also different colors, different types of body types, rather than a private school. Is that's interesting, because I thought it would have been the opposite. But did you find success in sport?
I don't know if I was successful, but I tried to go ahead and just do the best I could in everything that I did.
Right.
So like when I started my freshman year of high school, I wanted to play football because every guy wants to play football.
Right.
I thought being small, I could be like a running back and do really well, but my dad said no. He thought I would get hurt, which he was probably right. So I joined cross country because I always liked a challenge.
Right. And what's great about individual sports, like a cross country or a swimming or cycling, it's you against the course. It's you against yourself more than you against the other person. Is that what drew you into endurance and into triathlon?
Kind of. I think probably what really got me into triathlons was when I met my wife's friend Fran, and we did the SDTC, and she was part of a relay team, and she asked me to go and do the bike portion. So once I was there and saw that event, that kind of got me hooked on trying to do aspects of triathlon. But what really got me hooked was once I found out that I had a lot of food allergies. I started losing a bunch of weight, and then just said, you know what, I'm going to try to go ahead and do this full board. And from there it started in 2019.
Oh, so 2019 was when you first got into tri?
Yes.
Wow. And then 20 was pretty much a wash. So really, This was like your second season.
Yeah.
Wow. You've come a long way. Because I think we were in transition areas at Super Seal, Super Fraud, basically everywhere in 2019. Every weekend, you and I were racing somewhere. So when you got in, you were all in.
I was all in.
What was the toughest part? You're talking equipment. You're getting a wetsuit that fits, getting a bike that fits. Was that a challenge?
Definitely. So when I started out doing the triathlons, I just had like a surf suit, and then that worked okay. But I think about 8 months ago or so, I got, I know when you connected me with Xterra,
Yeah.
and did some trials with them. I finally got a wetsuit that really fit me the best.
Such a difference.
So it made it such a difference with the buoyancy in the hips and everything, not having long legs.
Right.
For me, that really is very important.
So riding, finding a bike, 'cause I'm sure originally you're thinking, okay, I got to ride a kid's bike. I mean, finding a bike that fits has to be really, really tough.
It has been, yeah. So my current bike is over 10 years old now.
Oh,
and so it's a Fuji Ace 650 kids bike. It's a junior's bike.
Right.
So I've done the best to update it, over the last 10 years to, bring up the performance level. But it's been a struggle trying to figure out everything.
So what is the ultimate goal? Because you did the full our SDTC that just happened.
Yeah.
1 mile swim, 41-mile bike ride, 10-mile run. You did the whole thing.
Yep.
Was that your longest race to date, or have you gone further?
That has been my longest race to date.
And what's the goal?
The goal is to, hopefully by the age of 50, be able to do a full Ironman.
And you are how old now?
44.
Oh, plenty of time. Come on. Look what you've done in really 20 and 21. We really didn't start racing until June or something this year. So May, yeah. So you've only been in the sport for a little over a year, and you've already done a 1:41:10. That's a hell of an accomplishment. And what did the difference between, because it's funny, we go to the races and I'm the sprinter. I want to be done and in a beer garden by 8:30 in the morning. And you're the one going to the Olympic. You're always right. Olympic distance. What have you found in going longer? What do you like about the longer distances?
I like the challenge.
Yeah.
I really do. I like seeing what I can overcome.
Right. Well, yeah. And in terms of overcoming, when you're out there riding, running, swimming, you're overcoming the same thing all of us are, cramping, dehydration, it's too hot, It's too cold, wetsuit, rub, all that crap. So really the challenges you're facing, the challenges of a triathlete, not challenges of anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And when you finish, were there some low points during SDTC? Because that's a long way.
I would say, well, what's always really hard for me is the run, because of having dwarfism, and having a little bit of scoliosis, lower doses of the spine, just the impact.
Yes.
That's always the hardest for me. But once I get about 3 miles in, I just kind of go from there.
You tune it out.
Yeah, I just tune it out and just focus on the finish line.
Now, have we had people with dwarfism finish a full Ironman? I wonder if John Young has done that.
To my understanding, John Young has finished a full Ironman.
But I don't think anybody on the West Coast has done it.
I don't think anyone on the West Coast has, no.
So you could be the pioneer.
Possibly, yeah.
So as somebody who has been, when you come out to SDTC or any of our events, and I know you're a fundraiser as well as a volunteer, what is it about the foundation? What is it about Challenge Athletes Foundation that connects with you?
I think what connects with me the most is it allows those with a disability to be highlighted in the best light possible, showing that we have a voice, we're strong, right. We can do anything that we set our mind to. Just having that support, which I didn't have growing up.
Right.
There was not really any organizations out there, that I was involved with, or that, my parents were able to find, that gave me that support group. CAF does that. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever been a part of. I love it so much.
Well, you've been a great part of our CAF family for just the last few years. So when you see other kids out there with dwarfism, do you connect with the families to chat with them about, what they might need?
Absolutely. So this year at the SDTC, Cause
Yep.
got connected with me, and he was bringing out a young man from Florida to go ahead and do the SDTC. So he wanted me to go ahead and connect with him. And he was doing the swim portion. I think he was on the Paralympic alternate team.
Oh, nice.
And so we got connected about, I think, 2 or 3 days before the event, and just talked about life, talked about wetsuit fitting, talked about just what drives him, what obstacles he has. And I think he's like in his young 20s. So kind of from like a mentor mentee kind of situation, just kind of address what struggles I've had.
Sure.
What struggles in the sport of triathlon, and just really got to know him and got to know his family decently well that weekend.
So how many triathlons have you done now in this year and a half or so that you've been involved in the sport?
I think during the pandemic in 2020, I think did about half a dozen with like the Ironman virtual ones.
Right.
This year in 2021, I've completed 7 so far.
Yeah.
And I'm going for my 8th.
What's the 8th? What are you doing?
La Quinta Wells.
Oh, so you're doing it. So this will be your first 70.3.
My first 70.3.
So basically our SDTC was sort of the appetizer. As
yes.
A little warm up for the 70.3. Wow. That's a challenge, my man. That's a tough race.
Yeah. Well, I look at it like, so the SDCC was definitely a great warm up. Yes. So I look at the half and go, the swim's only 0.2 more.
Oh yeah. No problem.
The bike's only 16 miles more. It's really not a whole lot.
Nope.
And the
3 miles on a run. Big deal.
So
yeah,
there we go.
Chopped liver. No biggie. No biggie at all. What do you look at as your best race? The race you felt that, okay, this is the best race I've had so far.
Probably the SDTC, because it was the biggest challenge to date. And probably mentally, definitely harder than the others because of the bike. It's a little bit more insane.
Yeah. Yep. Climbing up Soledad, trying to figure out where I'm going.
But just being able to finish the distance.
Yes.
Which I haven't done before, just made me feel so great.
Now, what does a family and extended family think of all this triathlon stuff?
They all think I'm a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
And my wife thinks I talk about it too much.
What a surprise, a triathlete talking about their split times and their workouts. That's never happened before.
But I try to balance it as much as I can. So usually when the new year starts and the schedules come out, I put a spreadsheet together of the triathlons I want to do for the year.
Yep.
And then we kind of go down the list, and my wife says yes or no, and then outlines vacation times. And so, because I got to give her and my family as much equal time as I give the sport of triathlon. So try to balance as much as I can.
If you don't give them equal time, then there's going to be no triathlons.
Right. 0.
They will go away in a heartbeat. Michael, I always enjoy seeing you at the races. It's always such a treat. You're always sporting the CAF kit. Always looking good. And let me know when you need a new kit, because we got to the point where I'm like, Michael, you've been wearing that same kit since 2019. Come on now, let's get something new here.
Absolutely,
love it, Michael. Thanks so much for taking time to join us on Heroes of Sport, and best of luck in La Quinta. You're going to kill it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for today, Bob. I appreciate it so much.
All right, Michael Andresen has been our guest. Everybody, again, CF Heroes of Sport. Check us out next time. Thanks everybody for tuning in. See ya.
Thank you, everybody.